Okay, Puru, it's great to see you again. We haven't met for so long,
Yes, I agree.
and
Same myself.
we are back at it with another episode of Opinion Outlaws. And today's topic, today's topic is the y- last episode's topics surrounding at it.
Yeah.
Could we say that? Or
Could
could
you
we
repeat
say,
that again?
yeah, the topic that we discussed it the last episode? Now, this time we will discuss it the same topic, but from a different angles and more like a base to it.
Yeah, I think like in this time we're going to talk about a bit more in detail about what we were talking last time. It was just a very general way of covering out the
Yes.
things that is going to be the main theme of this whole podcast. And well, before basically let's get down to it.
Let's get down to it.
Yeah.
Okay, the first thing first, anybody who saw the last time that we said tabula rasa, the empty board
Yes.
is an empty board. And the empty board basically is the metaphorical board. Of course, there nobody is carrying the goddamn board all the time, right?
Oh, really?
Oh, maybe.
Oh my! I never thought you would it would be that case.
I hope nobody is that kind of way, but maybe, hey, maybe somebody wants to carry their board all the time. And if you
Hey.
want to,
Hmm.
I want to, I want to know you. Please send me a message or anything. I want to
Yes.
get to know you, and
Yeah, yeah, we don't want to be discriminating, right?
I'm not discriminating
Yeah,
anybody. I'm just want
yeah,
to.
yeah, because some people can have passion for carrying boards with them.
Yeah, that's
You
true.
have to take that in consideration. Don't be racist.
I'm not racist. A little bit.
A little
I'm,
bit.
I'm a little bit.
Okay, we're
I'm
digressing
not.
now.
I'm not racist enough.
We're digressing a
I'm
bit,
not.
but anyways.
I'm not racist enough. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways, the metaphorical board is that the life that you have led, you have the pre-assumptions about things, which is very natural and it's very biological, if we could say, right? It's very biological to have pre-assumptions about things. For example, let's go back in time. You can have pre-assumption about a leaf or about a plant because that plant can kill you or that plant can heal you. That plant or that fruit can benefit you, can give you nutrition that you need, can give you energy that you need, and some fruit can make you allergic,
Mm.
can make you in a can make you go desperate in a way, can raise you a fever. Like there are pre-assumptions about things, and that's very normal. And that is the tabula rasa, the base that you live life, you learn, and from learning you make the assumptions that will have benefit you or detriment you
Yes.
because of the situation that
Mm.
you have. Now, Puru, I'm gonna ask you this one. Tabula rasa, empty board. When does it start to develop? Because I don't believe that the tabula rasa starts to develop immediately when you come out of the womb. But when it starts to develop, how it starts, maybe is the better question.
Mm.
And then when does it finish?
Mm.
Or is it ever finished?
I guess it starts as early as we start to realize that okay, we're not gonna be here forever, or at the point where we start to realize, oh, we're not omnipotent, we're not unstoppable, and I guess okay, maybe we don't become aware about our uh, limitations until once or twice later. But I guess at the point where our senses start to realize, oh, these and these kind of things can lead to our death.
Mm.
So it kind of starts gathering data to see what kind of things are going to help us to survive and what kind of things are going to lead to our death if we keep doing them, or this is going to cause us negative consequences if we keep on doing them. So therefore, we start to build up those experiences based on either what helps us and which things don't help us, which the things that don't help us. And it's called, I think it's called pleasure principle, right? It's
Okay.
something like that we prefer to go towards pleasure away from pain,
Right.
you
Yeah,
know.
yeah. The
So that's
tendency is
yeah,
to
yeah,
go for
yeah,
pleasure.
yeah. Basically, in anything what we're gonna do, like in a way, What could be a good example? Well, basically anything. Well,
I'm gonna give you the best
yeah,
example right
mm,
now. Masturbation
yeah,
and actually meeting somebody
yeah,
is the greatest example for what he's talking about in this
yeah,
today's age.
yeah.
Go ahead
Or,
from this example.
or, or yeah, masturbation is much more easier compared to going to a woman, feeling all those overwhelming sensations in your body. Oh my God, what if she's gonna reject me? Oh my God, if I'm not inadequate, blah 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 blah. If you had those kind of thoughts running in your head, it's quite understandable that you're gonna be, oh, I might as well just masturbate and do nothing, and you know, then you're gonna go and masturbate. Or easier example, for example, is that you have decision between either going to the gym, which is gonna be challenging, that is gonna require a lot of effort, or it's that you just stay home and watch TV.
Yes.
So depending on how you experience pleasure, you either go to the gym or go you don't go. You
Yeah.
don't. You go
You
basically
go
lazy.
nowhere.
You go nowhere. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
You go
but
lazy.
he said everybody experience what you experience pleasure,
Yeah.
but somebody is masochist, right?
Yeah.
They like to hurt themselves the way they feel pleasure, but I think they have something messed up in, I believe so. I've never seen a guy or a gal who willingly is going to hurt themselves in a way that doesn't benefit them at all.
Hmm.
Like, for example, to take my hand
Mhm.
away and smash it with a goddamn hammer. I don't believe that nobody, especially me, will be benefited
Hmm.
from that.
Yes.
So, Peter said, great, the gym uh, example, the masturbation sex thing example, those are just the basic examples of what we are
Hmm.
talking about. Uh, however, uh, Peter also said to me that we should discuss about thing. Uh,
I can also tell it myself if you
okay,
want to.
okay, maybe it's better.
Yeah, because
I was
yeah,
getting like in a deep state, but then it's better not to get maybe
not
upfront.
not too quickly deep maybe, because
If you know
we
what I'm
know.
saying, huh? If you know what I'm saying,
Yeah,
huh?
I know we're very good at getting deep, but I think in the beginning of any episode we have to keep it a bit lighter because it makes it much more impactful when we get the red line of anything. So this time, because last time we were talking about tabula rasa, we were talking about all the things it means, but it doesn't mean quite a lot of other stuff. Basically, I figured we could go into more in detail about covering out the things that you maybe better prefer doing instead of not doing certain things. Certain things are going to help you, obviously. Certain things are not going to help you. And now we want to focus on the things that are going to help you. And still, even though we know these things are going to help us, still we keep sabotaging ourselves and not doing them. So my question for you is like, why do we keep on doing the things that don't help us, even though we don't know they are going to harm us, and not do the things that are going to help us, but just we just choose not to do them? Yeah.
Yeah, that's a valid question actually, and it's a question that I think everybody should ask themselves: am I doing the things that will help me? Like for example, going to the gym. Because listen, when we take example, it doesn't mean that we are talking about just about gym. For every part of the life. If you decide not to go to the gym or not to work out, you don't need to go to the gym, but you can work out, do 100 push-ups. That's a workout in my books. That's a
It
workout. You
is.
do 100
It is.
push-ups. It's a workout,
Yeah, it's a pretty good workout
and
actually.
it's actually a pretty good workout. You don't work out. You don't take care of your body. There is a old saying that goes that if you're not prepared for failure, then your preparation will fail you.
Yeah.
If you're not prepared for failure, then preparation will fail you. And I'm not talking about preparing for failure then and you
Yeah.
don't do anything,
Yeah.
but you will be prepared if something happens.
Yeah, yeah, and when you tell me that quote, I actually was reminded of a similar quote myself failing to plan is planning to fail
Yeah.
because it's basically what it is. You can do all the things you want, but if you don't prepare what you're gonna do,
Yes.
you're just preparing yourself for failure, even though you don't plan to do so.
Yes.
Because the odds are, if you don't prepare yourself, there are going to be many factors that you don't take into consideration, and then it goes all over the place because you're not specific about what you want.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And he said that why people usually go that road, well, because it's easier road now.
Mm,
At this moment, at this particular time, when you choose to take this road of pleasure instead of pain, then you have chosen that easier path. Uh, there is a few times in your life that when you hear something and it clicks and it strikes a chord inside of you that you'll say, okay, this makes a lot of sense for every single aspect of my life.
mm,
And I've heard, I was a kid, I remember, and I remember a quote that was, if you do what's hard, then life will be easy. If you do what's easy, then life will be hard. And now we're taking, for example, gym.
yeah.
If you don't go to the gym, if you're not active, if you don't work out, then you will have a harder life.
Mm,
By a default, you will have a harder life, not because you're not maybe in good health, but your body is not responding to the normal things. You have a high blood pressure, maybe you're a little bit overweight, maybe your uh, fat percentage is off the charts. It ain't supposed to be in that way. Maybe you don't have the strength to do something. You cannot walk. Maybe you have aches. Like there's a reason, for example, why basketball players go to the gym because they have a very bad knees. They are very tall. They have a lot of weight on them. If they don't go to the gym, they will have a very bad ankles and knees for the rest of their life
mm,
because the muscle is not
yeah,
cooperating with all the twists and turns and
yeah.
jumping and what they do. And the same thing is, for example, when you go and talk to women, or when I'm talking about like from experience, when you go talk to women, it's never comfortable. It will
Mm,
never be
yeah.
comfortable in that sense because of the fact that what kind of situation you're put in.
Mm,
Just just the fact that you will go to a stranger is stressful, and not because they can hurt you, but you don't know what they can do.
yeah.
You never know what they can do or what they have. They actually, I know a lot of women who has a pepper spray on them all the time. You come off as creep the pepper spray, you will not be able to move for about 10 to 20 minutes.
Yeah, and that will probably the last time you will do any cold approach
Exactly.
after that.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's definitely true. And like, yeah,
So, what I'm saying is that if you do things that are hard, you push yourself in the gym, you read because it's not easy to read and actual reading, not just go by the book. You read and you internalize that. You learn from people. You understand. You start to do all these things. Then you can see in later life how much it will help you.
mm,
For example, let's just say again, you go to the gym or you work out all the time. After a certain period of life, you cannot have the same strength that you did as a youngling.
yeah,
You cannot have the same endurance that you did as a youngling. But then the health will show off how much did you train when you was young. If you
mm,
were an active kid from 7 years old or as a little kid
mm,
active till mid 40s, 45, 50 years old, the possibility of you being in a bad shape and having bad things in your body is very unlikely.
mm,
That's a possibility. There's only probability and possibilities. Nothing is absolute except death.
mm. Yeah, that's really that is. I think many of people do know that already for a fact. We are
Yeah,
very knowledgeable about certain things. Are like how to say welfare and health. How to say like things have we have made a lot of progress in welfare and
yeah,
healthcare.
yeah.
We understand our biology, we understand our biochemistry much better in many ways.
Yes, sir.
We know what things are going to help us, we know things that are not going to help us, and still we suffer from obesity or like lack of nutrition.
Yeah.
We have all those kind of issues with our diet, sleep, things. So we know that these things are going to help us. We know the negative consequences are going to happen, yet we still do them. So why is that the case, really? Even though, yes, we
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
we do the things,
I got you. I
you
got
know,
you.
we know the things that are going to help us, yet we still prefer doing the things that don't help us.
Don't help us. Well, I believe that uh, it's easier
Hmm.
to do.
Yeah.
When it's easier to do it, like you said, the tendency for a human being to go an easier road is a big tendency.
Yeah.
And is it, uh, I don't believe in that you don't know what is the right path.
Hmm.
I don't believe in that because internally you know things. You don't need ever to listen anyone or to read any book for
Hmm.
somebody to say
Hmm.
kill your mom and you say
Hmm.
no.
Hmm.
That's wrong. You
Yeah.
know that internally,
Yeah.
right? So therefore internally everybody believes and knows what is the right path.
Hmm.
But to take the right path is a different story.
Yeah.
There are not a lot of people that I've met and I know that are in the right path
Hmm.
in a sense of okay, they take care of themselves, they are ready to take care of somebody else, they are in a good space in mind, they have
Hmm.
goals, they are doing something with their life in a
Hmm.
positive way that
Hmm.
will help everybody around them.
Hmm. So it comes down to people. The problem, what you mean, like what I understood it, is that people prefer listening what they want to do instead of what they need to do.
Yes, it's always like that, and
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
why I've said to Puri also that I don't respect therapy. But it's not about not respecting the actual therapist,
Hmm.
but it's about that what you
Hmm.
need.
The idea.
The idea of therapy to go to therapy. Do you know that for somebody, therapy is this what we are doing?
Hmm.
For somebody, maybe not to me or not to him, but for somebody, this is the form of therapy.
Hmm.
For somebody else, I know personally a guy. He has an old car, a 70 80s Ferrari.
Hmm.
His therapy is to go once a week or once a month and wax that car, clean it and wax it and take care of that.
Hmm.
That's his form of therapy. For somebody is gym, for somebody is talking to a friend or a family member.
Yeah.
That's a form of therapy.
Hmm.
And however, he said that people want to hear what they want, not what they need. That's also a big yes, because of the fact that how we are, we are. Because when you hear what you want, you feel some type of way. You're like,
Yeah.
yeah, I
Yeah.
got this. I'm the
Yeah.
man.
Yeah. Like who doesn't like to hear the things they want to hear? Like that you wouldn't want to hear the
Yeah.
things you don't want to hear. So it's as simple as that. So you want, of course, because we want to soothe our egos, we want to think that we're doing much better than we think we are. That we want to think that we're doing much better than we actually are doing. So then we have these people who are well, conveniently they're getting paid money for that they are doing what they're doing. They tell you, "Oh, you're doing so wonderfully in this area and this area. Don't worry about that one area. You have this addiction, but if you do these things, you're all good. You're good to go.
Yeah.
Although life might be falling apart in many areas. Your social life sucks. Your physical life sucks. You're isolating like some recluse. You're not doing anything. You're just letting go of all of your relationships. But hey, you have this one good thing. No.
Yay.
Yay.
No, you don't need to hear that. You want to hear that.
Yeah.
Like you said, you want to hear that.
Mm,
Hey, Puru, everything's okay. You have
mm,
everything perfectly.
mm, mm,
Everything's fine. No
mm.
worries.
All the other thing example I've heard many times, like older people tell a lot of younger people, like, "Oh, you're just so young. You will eventually figure it out."
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I'd never understood that. I'm gonna be honest with everybody. Like, I'm so young. Who says you have time? Who says you can go tomorrow
Mm,
for other world? If you believe that, if you don't
mm,
believe that, you can die tomorrow.
yeah.
You don't know when your days are counted.
Mm,
But the absolute is that you will die.
yeah.
Nobody escapes from that.
Yeah.
And if you believe in your purest heart that yeah, I got time, then you are a dumbass.
Yeah.
I believe in so.
Yeah.
If you believe that you have time, then you are a dumbass. Nobody is guaranteed anything else but death. And when you start to realize that, you will start to realize also that everything that you have to enjoy it
Mm.
because it will not last forever.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And now we get down to question that now we know that when you prefer hearing what you want to hear instead of hearing what you need to hear, now we're trying to make the transition to the direction where we are doing the things what we need to do and hear the things we need to hear.
Yeah.
So how would you suggest that we start making the commitment to go through that pain and make it worthwhile so that we can be like, okay, so okay, this is gonna suck. I'm gonna go to the gym. It's gonna suck ass,
Yeah.
but I know it has a purpose. So how do we make that commitment emotionally and holistically, in your opinion, so that we kind of stick to it no matter what?
Uh, I'm gonna talk for my experience now.
Okay.
How I've seen the things, and I'm gonna be the first person to say I hate gym. I never liked it. I have never liked about going to the gym and lift weights. I like going to the gym, for example, or a boxing gym or a fighter gym, or I like to go places where you are more active. But
Mm,
an actual weight room, I've always hated it. As a little kid, as of now, today, I went today at the gym. I still hated it. I never get used to it,
mm,
not to hate it.
mm, mm,
However, uh, there are two things. There are two things for me that have absolutely been like the thing that has pushed me. And I've been now going to the gym like actively for a few years. Uh, the first thing is, of course, the commitment to yourself. Like actually that you committing to yourself and you want to respect yourself, you want to love yourself in your best possible way.
mm,
And you cannot do that if you don't have a strong body,
mm,
in my opinion. You
mm.
cannot do uh, great things if your body is full of shit. I'm gonna be honest. I don't believe that. Maybe I'm not talking about that you cannot make money or make success,
Mm,
but do great things like actually make an example in this world.
mm,
It's very hard to do if you don't have a in good shape body, not
mm.
perfect body or not my body because everybody has a different type.
Yeah, and I would even go further to say not just a great body or doing great things, but like having the body you wanted to have
Yes,
and doing the things you want to do.
yes, and uh, the second thing that you said that what pushes you to go that path is because the fact is that you will have pain as a man. I'm talking about as a man. You will have pain no matter what. It's going to be painful.
Mm,
You don't want to do it. You cannot do it. This is all the things that you are saying to yourself.
mm,
There will be pain. The best thing that you can do is choose your pain. I
mm,
chose to go to the gym and feel that pain now
mm,
because later I don't need to feel that same pain.
mm.
Make sense?
Yeah, makes really great. That makes greatly sense,
I
really.
can to choose what pain do I
Mm,
get.
mm,
If I can make that choice,
mm.
then we all good. I will choose this pain now
Yeah,
so I can enjoy later that pleasure.
yeah, that's a really great observation and a really great realization.
Right. As a man,
Yeah.
you are a man too. I'm a man too. There hasn't been a moment in life where you have woken up and gone days or weeks or even months that have just been pleasure
Mm,
as a young man.
mm.
There
That's
hasn't
true.
been. That's not, it's not possible. If you're a young man and you don't have even, no, I don't care. If you have even a rich parents or you come from a rich environment, your life is still miserable because you need to do things to get better as a man. I'm talking about just men. But as a woman, I cannot say because it is a different world
Mm,
for a woman that is
mm.
for a man, different
Of
rules,
course.
different settings. But as a man, there will be pain, there will be suffering. If you want to choose your suffering and
Mm,
pain, it's better that way.
yeah.
And you also have to understand that if you choose now your pain to do those things, then it's better for everyone, not just for
Mm,
you. but it's for
Mm.
everyone that is around you and everyone that will be around you. I'm talking about family members. I'm talking about your wife, your kids, your friends, your like everybody will be better when you have gone through that pain or that trauma or
Mm.
that whatever the challenge have been.
Yeah, so basically, if I may interrupt, like
Yeah.
you basically mean that you are struggling so that other people wouldn't need to struggle as much as you did. In a way,
Yeah, in
you're
a way.
you're kind of helping them. Okay, so here's the way. I will show you the way you can go. You might choose between experiencing less pain or whatever, or you can go the same direction, help uh your close ones to
Yeah.
have the same thing as I gave you.
Yeah. And it isn't it better
Yeah.
when everybody around you just wants to be around you
Mm.
or wants to learn from you or wants to
Mm.
spend time with you because of the fact that what kind of man you are.
Yeah, yeah, because I think many people are just very fixated on the question, oh, what do I want from life? What is the happy life for me? What is the meaning of my life? What are the things that would bring me joy? And blah 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 blah. Those very generic questions. Everybody knows them,
Yeah.
but not that many people really think about the question: what pain am I willing to experience? What pain I'm willing to endure? What am I willing to struggle for?
Yes, sir.
And related to this, I quite recently I watched the movie Shawshank Redemption.
Shawshank. Ah, it's a
Yeah,
classic
it's a
one.
classic.
My favorite. My
I
favorite.
remember you told me, and I remember after that I watched that. In the summary, warning: this is gonna include some spoilers.
Spoilers. So if
Spoiler.
you don't want to watch them, just
Yeah,
put down now, and then
yeah,
we.
yeah, yeah. Just muff your ears if you don't want to hear. But basically, it's a movie basically about this man who is falsely charged of murder. He's put in the jail for about 20 years or so, and eventually, well, he hears that he's innocent, and eventually, well, this is very anticlimactic way of telling it, but he gets away. But what really caught my interest was that there was a part where there was this very old man. Remember that guy who was taking care of the library? He
Yes.
got out. He got out of the jail. He got what he wanted eventually, but then he realized that he had institutionalized.
Yeah.
Basically, that what that means. I totally butchered that pronunciation, but anyways,
Institutionalized.
institutionalized. Thank you. Anyways, this old man got out of the jail, but he realized that so many things at jail after getting out of the jail had changed,
Yeah.
and he realized that the things that, even though how no matter how uncomfortable it was there in jail, he hated being there. He realized that they all actually brought a lot of comfort and
Yeah.
security, and he realized that he didn't know what he was going to do there.
Yeah.
So eventually, what happened? He hanged himself.
Yeah.
So it really doesn't matter if you achieve the goal if you don't know what for you're doing it.
Yeah.
And
That's a fact.
so you can go after your optimal body, you can go after the optimal network you want to have, you can do whatever you want, but if you don't have clarity over why you want what you want, it's gonna be something like you just, okay, I achieved it, but why would I need to maintain it since I now achieved it? And that brings to my point, like another one, the Morgan Freeman, he also was in that same situation
Yeah.
in the end of the movie. But what was different was that the guy who managed to escape from there, after this Morgan Freeman got free from the jail, he had this, let's say, quote unquote, purpose
Yeah.
that was making him go further and find his friend who had basically kind of, I think he foresaw that coming, that he would have that problem, and he helped him to have some sort of purpose to helping push forward,
Yeah.
even though he was thinking about the same things as the other dude who eventually killed himself.
Yeah.
So I guess the lesson of the story is that your intention can never be greater than your direction.
Facts. Facts. And
That's not my quote, but anyways.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But uh, that's a great observation that you made from that movie
Yeah,
because that what happens. We talked about this before we started this podcast.
yeah,
Uh, what can make you? we started to talk about that. What is the percentage of inmates that get out of jail? They
Mm,
have done their time.
mm,
They don't have time anymore. They don't have sentence anymore.
mm,
They are free. What is the percentage of
mm.
they going back in the jail? And it was interesting because he said about 50%. I
Yes.
yeah, I believe that is about there or higher.
Yeah.
The possibility is that it is very much
Mm.
higher. And then rose the question why.
Mm. Why?
We started to question it. That why is that? Well, in this movie, even though understand that movie is scripted and movie is a lot of very fictional, where the fiction and reality is very in par with each other. You
Mm.
don't
Mm.
if you watch a movie, you will watch it with feelings. You will not watch it with a logical sense
Yeah.
and go, okay, that makes sense. Okay, that don't make sense.
Yes, and for this and this reason, this is actually absolutely true, and this is this reason, this is absolutely not true. You because you're watching for the reasons of emotions.
Exactly,
You're watching it through through the lens of emotion, not through your logic, like you
exactly.
said.
And now, because you can make in the movies also observations, because in movies also you will learn stuff. But I'm talking about a little bit uh, older movies. Like, for example, The Shawshank is a very great.
Yeah.
Tony Montana, Scarface.
Yeah.
You can learn from that a
Mm.
lot. And Godfather, I learned that from a lot. Where it's a one scene, maybe 4 or 5 minutes, where this main character, who is played by Al Pacino, is talking with his father, and his father is actually telling him that what will happen. The
Mm.
first guy who will approach you is the one who tried to kill me.
Mm.
Think about it. Like, father knew exactly what's going to happen,
Mm.
and then he foresaw it, like you said. Like the story of it. But anyway,
Yeah.
the observation that Puru said, that the place where that old guy was, and he was like 40 years in the jail,
Yeah.
or something like that. It, it's a very goddamn long time. We haven't even lived 40 years,
Yeah.
or we have to combine our ages to go for that far.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah.
We have to combine ages,
Mm.
and then we go over that. But
Yeah.
in that case, and think about his perspective. The last time he saw civilization was 40 years ago.
Yeah.
Uh, in that time, maybe it's a little bit different. But what about in this time?
Mm.
You come here and you see all these buildings, everybody's on
Mm.
their phone
Mm.
or the headphones, and you
Mm.
don't understand nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, you feel unsafe because the environment you are now in, it's unknown. You don't know where to go. You're just all the time on alert because you know, okay, so here's the thing that I need to avoid. Here's another thing I can do, I cannot do, blah blah blah. What can I do? And there's a lot of that lack of self-efficacy going on because you don't know what. Okay, here's the new environment. What I'm gonna do? You don't know the rules there.
Yeah,
So what are you gonna do? You're gonna go back to the place you feel the most comfort in,
exactly.
which is jail or which is the escapism or whatever you feel like doing that is gonna bring you that sense of security. Okay, so this is what I have control over, even though it makes you feel like a lousy person.
Mm.
Uh, it's still, after all, there's a reason why you started doing it. And
Yeah.
it because, for some reason or the other, it became your coping strategy in a certain point of your life.
Yes,
And
sir.
now you go there. But now you have that clarity. Okay, so here's the thing. It's gonna cause me more problems than good. So it's just yeah.
Yeah.
Just now need to realize it's not anymore. Even though it brings you the sense of security, it's not gonna bring lead to anything good in the long term.
Yeah.
But that's the problem because it's very hard sometimes to conceptualize the long term harm of something,
Yeah.
anything. So therefore, we just go like, oh well, yeah, I'm just gonna go this way as I used
Yeah.
to,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. And that movie represents a great deal of the what can you possibly do,
Mm,
in what can happen in those things. And that's why I was watching a documentary about a jail documentary, where a guy, Puri also knows this, there was a guy who was sentenced wrongfully, and that wrongfully in UK, and he then took out the mission to make a documentary where he visited every other country's jails, And usually the countries that he visited were third world or second world. It's not a jail that you want to get put in, right?
Mm.
But then he took a little contrast to that, and I liked it because he is not showing just the bad side, right? Because then it it doesn't make sense. If you show
Yeah.
just the bad side, then something is wrong.
Mm.
He showed the Norwegian prisons,
Mm.
and there the inmates get to go to work
Mm.
or go to study or do something with their life outside the prison.
Mm.
And it was amazing to see that because the whole idea was that when you get put in the jail,
Mm.
the freedom to go around everywhere else is
Mm.
stricted. You cannot go.
Mm.
But you can still go and get a job. You can still go and learn something. You can
Yeah.
still go and get a degree. There was a guy who got a degree in something.
Yeah.
And it was amazing to see. There was a guy who went to go work for a mechanic shop. It was amazing to see that how that kind of thing worked.
Mm.
Because after they are done with the sentence, what happens? Usually that is the worst time because after the sentence they are lost.
Yeah.
Many inmates are lost after that.
Yeah. And that raises a question because they have all these benefits, they have all these things that are gonna like help them whenever they, of course nobody wants to go to jail, obviously, but when they get to jail and they have all these things, opportunities to go work, opportunity to study, and then they are thrown out of that safe spot or that headquarters where they feel secure, what are they gonna do? Do you think they're just gonna be like, oh, crime isn't worth it, I'm just gonna improve myself and do the things that are gonna keep me on the way of improvement? Or are they gonna think, okay, wait, this is the speculation, but
Mm,
okay, so so it's basically if they are put in the situation that they're not anymore in the place where they feel secure, they had all these benefits,
yeah.
most likely they're gonna feel scared, they're gonna feel very uncomfortable. So what do they want to do? They want to go back to the place where they had all these things, routines, all the benefits of going to their work or studying.
Mm.
So they have quite a incentive to uh, again commit a crime, right?
Uh,
You mean?
no, the percentage of there was under 10%
Hey.
to go back, and the reason why I believe is that they get
Mm.
a job immediately after that. Like the moment they get out of the prison, they are still in the
Mm.
job or they have still completed that task.
Okay.
So therefore, they have already a thing that keeps them occupied. And in a way,
Okay.
they know that if they do something stupid again, they will be thrown in a jail again.
Mm.
The possibility of that happening is uh, if you do something bad,
Yeah.
their possibility of getting inside the jail again is much higher.
Yeah.
And the possibility of them getting another job or another place to
Mm.
work is so low because
Mm.
they will look at you like, we already gave you a chance. You want a second chance? What's
Mm.
wrong with you?
Mm.
Get
I
what I'm
see.
saying?
Yeah.
So I believe that this is a great system.
Yeah.
Of course, it needs a lot of investment
Of
and it
course.
needs a lot of open mindedness not uh, uh, and not that anger or hate that I have
Mm.
towards the people who are in jail. Because
Mm.
honestly, to be honest, all the people who are in jail, most of them are not there because they have wanted to do a bad thing.
Mm.
Most of them, can we say like 70%, are not bad people, but the
Mm.
circumstances made them do things or somebody messed them up. There was a guy in Norwegian prison where he got accused of rape. He sent it to jail, but he was innocent.
Mm.
It was proven later on. He spent all that time in like 3 years. He spent in jail because of an accusation that turned out to be a fact, but then all of a sudden it wasn't a fact anymore. So
Mm.
he just got messed up.
Mm.
Like you get what I'm saying?
Mm.
Like there are possibilities there, but then there are actually bad people who are
Mm.
killers, who are murderers, who are rapists, who are people who are
Mm.
doing bad things.
Yeah, actually, that sounds really like a really good system, and I think Finland has a pretty similar system.
Yeah, Finland.
I know it for a fact because I work in a crime actions agency, and
Oh,
I know.
hello,
And
hello.
okay, I'm
You
there.
know how to contact him.
No, no. The point here isn't that I'm gonna here start bragging about my position, but the point is that we have pretty similar system compared to Sweden and Norway.
Yeah,
So therefore, the point in the even legislation says it that the point is to ensure the security on inmates and to make sure that they would prevent them from committing a crime again. So the point there isn't to punish them and make them feel like they're the worst person ever
yeah,
on the planet of Earth. But the point is to make them realize, hey, this is not gonna work in this society, and you need to change your behavior, or you're gonna suffer. In that way, of course, that's punishment. But of course, the point isn't to focus only on the negative, but also the good things that you're gonna gain when you learn to control your impulses to act criminally,
yes,
or
sir.
do crime, right?
Yes, sir.
So yeah. But the question rises now that, like, okay, even though they had this occupation, they get out of the jail, they have this good thing going on in their life. So how do they make sure they don't start identifying with the criminals within the prison? Because that is still a risk, because
Yeah,
you know the saying, you're in 5 years you're a combination of these two things: the books you read and the people you meet. So now you are surrounded by even though no matter how comfortable it is
yeah,
there, no matter how amazing people and all flowers and sunshine, blah blah blah, but still there are criminals, they are rapists, they're murderers, they're bank robbers, blah blah blah. And now you are put in there. Either you have to choose either you have to choose between being lonely and being who you are, or
mm,
you can take the easier route out and be with those people who are those people who rape other people,
mm,
kill other people, and rob banks, basically. So how do you make sure that you're in the jail and you don't start identifying with the people and still you get out without having changes within your values?
yeah.
Right.
That is a good question, and
That's
I
that's why I'm a bit skeptical about that
yeah.
system. Although the data says it works. If it works, it works. I'm gonna
The
say, yeah,
statistics says it works
yeah,
because about 10 or under 10% don't go to jail again.
yeah.
So that's a good thing,
That is a good thing.
right? And it's the highest. I believe it's in highest in the world that if you do a crime, then you don't go back.
Yeah,
That's the highest in the world, or can we say lowest in this
I
sense?
don't know.
Uh, but he
Either.
makes a valid point about that. If you surround with the criminals and you are a pure-hearted guy, you will still at some point fall into that.
Yeah,
Maybe you won't do bad things, but you will identify yourself as one of them
yeah,
because you hang around with them, you spend time with them, and
yeah.
that is a human fact of life. That
Mm,
with whom you spend time, you will become like that.
yeah, yeah. And if you have to choose between being alone or being with those people, what are you gonna choose? Especially if you're not being used to being alone.
Yeah,
It's aggravating to be very lonely, especially for the first time. If you just go to jail and you choose, oh, I'm gonna be alone.
yeah,
It sounds simple, but it's not gonna be
yeah.
easy.
If it's your first time to be alone, then there are two possibilities. First one, you will lose your mind, and that's very easy to do.
Yeah.
But then the other possibility is to get to know yourself, because loneliness is nothing else but you are not okay with yourself.
Mm.
That's the base of loneliness.
Mm.
If you feel lonely, trust me, I'm talking about experience now, my guys, and I'm talking about men. Women, that's a different thing because I'm not a woman. I've never been a woman, and I believe I will never be a woman
Mm.
unless we have to fight. Then I'm a woman.
Mm.
A woman slaps him, I'll slap back. Who? Well,
Okay,
I'm a woman too.
but for now, you don't identify as a woman.
Come on, man. It's not free for all. It's not free for all. Like, yeah, I can identify. No, you cannot. It's the same thing. Age is the same thing. You cannot choose what age you are.
I
Just like
sorry, I added
identify.
my English isn't working today. Apologies. I identify as 8 year old. What do you think about that?
I'll smack this shit out of you.
I would
You can
appreciate that.
you can even try. I'm 100%. You can even try. You go to the bank and say, I identify as a millionaire, so give me $1 million. And they will look at you like, man, you retarded as mother. Well, I will not curse, but you get the point. You get the point. But anyway, that's besides the point. Uh, that's a good question that you start to identify with that crime. Now, the question, I believe, is better to ask that how much is there that kind of people? Because if there are more people who are willing to try in their life, then that small group will try to be like them,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
because there are a lot of people in that jail who try to do good things
Mm.
in the community,
Of course.
there will be a lot more people, or that small percentage who there are people who will just be alone there,
Yeah.
or they don't do anything, but they want after a certain time, because there are a lot of people out there who are doing things, uh, or going to job, for example. uh, those guys want to do that
Of course.
because they get all this benefit. They get, for example, they get paid,
Mm.
but it's not like actual payment, but you get like prison money,
Mm.
and they have in prison they have a little magazine that you can go buy things.
Yeah.
It was I liked it because you go to the job,
Yeah.
you if you work your ass off, then you get this money, and you can use that to buy your things. Like for example, you want to buy a
Mm.
chocolate, you want to buy some candy, you want to buy maybe more towels that you need, like
Yeah.
you can use that money then.
Yeah.
So
And
the benefit of that is much higher.
yeah, and that teaches also if you want it, you need to earn it.
Exactly.
So that's a really good thing because most likely majority of criminals don't think like that.
Yeah.
And if you are gonna put them in the situation, okay, so you're not gonna get this until you earn it. That's gonna, oh fuck this, I'm gonna do the work and get that thing, and then you realize, oh, it feels good actually.
Yeah.
Now that I earned it,
Yeah.
hopefully,
Hopefully.
hopefully,
Hopefully.
hopefully,
Yeah.
or he's gonna force someone else to do it
Yeah.
for him.
So
Someone,
I believe in that period, because you said that there will be rapists and all that. uh, it's very hard for those bad people to have influence in all those people. Maybe
yeah,
some, yeah, but
yeah, yeah,
in all of them, it's a really hard because nobody wants to be in jail.
yeah.
Let's just clear that out of the way. Nobody wants to be in jail. Or I don't know. Have you heard? Uh, this, of course, is another, but there's a story about a devil who got asked like, where is there a place that you don't want to go? And the devil said that I never ever in my life want to go to army. And they got like they got curious, why into army? Like there are a lot of places that you don't there could not go, but why
Yeah.
just in the army?
Yeah.
And he said the army is the only place that you everything goes with the command.
Mm.
The jail is maybe a bootleg to army, but
Yeah, somewhat.
it's pretty much the same thing. There are officers, there are guards, and there are people who say what you cannot and can't do.
Yeah, and there are different kind of people who are telling you what you can do and what you cannot do.
Exactly.
They're gonna be the ones who have been named to that position, and then there are those who earn it within the jail,
Yes.
and they are not, of course, they don't have the right, but they chose to have that right,
Yes, sir.
and you're pretty much screwed if you're a target of them.
Yes. Yes. However,
Yes.
now we go back to our original place. Think about that inmate who is in jail. Think about his tabula rasa. What is it? What it is in that? What do you think about this?
Well, very good question.
I got thrown the question like from here.
Some curveball you throw out there. Uh, well, I think like one of the things that you're not gonna find from there is definitely, in a way or the other, the value of patience. Because when we think about like financial criminals, they take a shortcut because they think like, oh, it's better to go the easy way out, and therefore they get charged for some tax crime, and therefore they go to jail. Or, well, let's we can. This is just speculating, but some pedophiles or people, they think like, okay, so they kind of control themselves. I have to go there. I have to rape that woman. Blah blah blah. So there's an lack of impulse control,
Mm,
which is, I would say, is a lack of patience to gain the thing the correct way, which is abiding law,
mm,
obviously, but also gives them that sense of accomplishment. Okay, I did this. I need to develop this skill in order to get that woman, to have the intimate connection or just to have sex.
yeah,
But anyways, like, or in business, to go the long way and realize, okay, I had to struggle through all these problems with my finances and get the thing I wanted the hard way, right? So I would say that one of the things you wouldn't find from there is the value of being patient and giving it time and seeing it through no matter what comes in your way. So
yeah,
that's one of the things that where it get twisted really, because they think like it's okay to take the easy way, no matter the consequences. Uh, I don't know how do you express it in English, but like the cause, basically,
the
mm,
meaning.
the meaning when you are like the outcome uh, invalidates the measures.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know,
Gotcha, gotcha.
basically it doesn't matter what you do, but as long as you get what you want, that's
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
So
yeah,
I guess that's really like the impatience. Really, I would say that's a really big word
yeah.
there, and the lack of impulse control, another one. But like that's really how I would start describing it, because I think it varies a lot individually. So it's really hard to say how it looks exactly.
Mm,
But I would say that obviously there's a lot of things wrong.
yeah,
We could start going on and like trying to create different kind of personalities. Oh, what is gonna look like for a pedophile, or how is it gonna look like for some financial criminal?
yeah,
But there's so many things that are affecting that, like their genes, their environment, so many things.
yeah.
But I would say, in short, patience.
There was a study done with rats about this environment, and it was very interesting to read that study. I suggest if you want to read it more, you can go and search it in Google. But there was a study done, I believe, somewhere in America, in some university, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm.
There was a study done where somewhere where they put rats in two predicaments, two situations.
Mm.
The first situation was that they have essentials, like they have food and they have water and they have drugs. The other predicament was that they had food, they had water, they had all this entertainment, they had things to do, they have stuff to think, they have all these external things that you don't need, but you want to do it. Like, for example, hanging out with friends or to listen to music for human aspect, of course. And they put these predicaments to rats. And why rats? Well, because they resemble a lot how humans work.
Mm.
And this first predicament, where there was just food and water and drugs, and it's also there were also drugs, like they got fed drug. And the first predicament, they got addicted to drugs. They had to take it. And then this first predicament place, first rat, was put in this environment, and they were still addicted for a long time. And they eventually couldn't make it. Uh, when the second predicament were rats, and they put in there, and they had all these things to do. They have water, they have food, they have that drug, and they have all these things. They wouldn't touch the drug the second time. The first time like curiosity got them, like, okay, what is this? And they touched the drug, they got all high, but then the next time they didn't touch it.
Mm.
Why? Because the environment was set up in a way where even if you take the drug, it doesn't help you. It will not lead you to anything.
Mm,
So what can you
okay.
take that from?
Mm.
What do you take that from? Well, what you learn. I'm asking you now. What do you learn from this?
Well, there's a lot of things you can learn, but obviously one of the things is the importance of environment. When you are put in the right environment where it doesn't make sense, or let's say that from a very emotional point of view, it doesn't make sense to be taking that. That's one of the things that you need to have very strong emotional reason, and you will have that reason when you are put in the right environment. So I have all these good things, but then I do this. It doesn't make sense in this environment to be doing that. In certain environments, doing drugs or doing crime makes sense because you have certain perception about things. But then you are put in a different environment, which forces you to change your thinking, right? And then you start kind of reframing the things that made sense in the past. And then you kind of think, okay, yeah, it was nice back then, but now I have all these better things. So why am I doing this?
Mm,
So it has lost its relevance. Like your mind thought at some point that it's important for your survival or you need to do it, but then you're put in an environment where it's not obligatory to do or to take, or
yeah,
you know.
yeah,
So I think the feeling of it being necessity has lost its impact on you.
yes, sir. He described it very well. I can describe it like this: you want to become something, you have to get in that environment.
Okay, that's better way. It's very much more
like
simple. That's much
like
more better and
like
much more simple.
he articulated in a way where if academic listen to that,
Yeah,
they like it.
they're like, oh my god, and then you
Oh
just go
my god!
like, yeah, you put yourself in the right environment, you don't do it anymore. I like that. I like
Like no, but even
that.
that experiment showed us as a human beings that if you get put in the right environment, you will become better or worse,
Hmm,
or in that you will stay the same.
hmm.
The-
And
like there is no other way. If you, I'm sorry that I'm interrupting, but
wasn't saying anything.
if
Go ahead.
if you are a man who are scared easily, let's say that, well, you're not a man when if you get scared easily, but let's say you're scared, get scared easily,
Hmm.
then you put yourself in a place where there are 5 men, 3 men, 10 men who are brave, like they don't have the fear gene in them,
Well, they don't believe they have
or
that.
they don't even believe that they're like, I don't care,
Yeah,
let's do this.
yeah.
uh there, that will make that scared man brave. Even just by being around that group will make him a brave man, just
Hmm.
by the reason, because if he doesn't do that, then he will be that bitch ass.
Okay,
Like,
makes sense.
you get
Makes
what I'm saying?
sense.
The same thing is when you go to the gym. You want to get big, well, you have to hang out with big people. Make sense?
Hmm.
If you want to be strong, you have to hang out with strong people. If you want to be charming, you want to hang out with other charming guys. I'm talking about men experience. I'm not talking about woman experience. But I believe so that if there are 5 women who are smart and you are the dumb one, then there's a high possibility that you will become smart,
Yeah,
even if you are not like right now.
yeah, yeah. And the reason why is because our mind is so fixated on the willingness to survive. So we just do what we need to do to adapt.
Yes, sir.
But now here comes the question. So here's the man who is scared. He's a bitch as a scaredy cat. And he doesn't take risks. He just kind of like settles for less because
Mm,
he's too afraid. And here are the 9 to 10 men who are doing the things they want. They don't give a shit about the outcomes. But this scared man is living that life of comfort.
mm,
He's very comfortable, like, oh, I could go there, but I got these things, I got all this TV, I can do this, blah 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 blah. So even though he knows he would want this kind in a way, he still has the things that are making him feel settled enough.
yeah.
How would you suggest him to make that mindset shift in the way that, okay, here's what you need to do in order to get out of your pitfall, or
Yeah.
how do you say, like, how? Here's how you get yourself from your own shit,
Yeah.
basically.
Well, the question is that how much do you want it?
Yeah.
Do you actually want it? Do you actually want to be brave? Do you actually want to be a man
Mm,
for those other guys? Because then for other human beings,
mm,
it's not only about you. Let's get this straight. There comes a time in your life where you are not living for yourself.
mm,
There will be a time in your life. The most people will experience that the moment they got a child or they have a kid in their life.
mm,
That's the first time that they will not live for themselves,
mm,
but they will start to live for somebody else. They will start to do. And I don't know, have anybody looked at this, but I've observed it, and then I've read articles and studies about this, that
mm,
when people have kids, after that they get monumental success and they start to do better things. They start to be more sharper, they more wiser, more quicker, more like they get more these attractive qualities in work and in life.
mm,
Why? Because at that moment, that's not only his life that is dependent, but
mm.
there is somebody else.
Yeah.
Great example is Charles Oliveira. I don't know how many people know UFC, but Charles Oliveira is a slum guy from Brazil.
Mm,
He had two sicknesses. Think about it. He had two. He had one with a heart disease, and then he had internal something disease. He had two diseases at 7 years old, like could be fatal. And he started to work out at 10 years old. 14 years old, he started to go in the tournaments in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. At 18, he started to do MMA, and he won. He was very hard worker, talented, and then he got transitioned to UFC. But in UFC, he didn't have like consistent winning. Like he wasn't the man. He sometimes lost and sometimes won. And then he had a kid, a daughter, if I believe.
mm,
And that moment that he had a kid, after that, he not only have racked up the wins, but he was a champion at one time.
mm.
He got only one loss after that. Like
Impressive.
yeah, he has like 7 or 8 wins in a row after he got a kid.
Mm,
And then he got just one loss, and that one loss was when the things sometimes don't work out.
mm,
Like that night, everything that can go wrong went wrong
mm,
for Charles Oliveira. But he's a great inspiration
mm,
for anybody who can see that what can you become, and more so, a great example of how the kid or a child
mm,
uh, makes your life different.
mm. So the takeaway from that is really like, okay, so like you ask the question, like, how much do you want it? So
Yeah,
the thing is the emotional why you have there.
yeah,
Because yeah, you can have in theory we kind of know, okay, I want to have this and this and this and this, but if you don't have that very strong conviction behind it,
yes,
you don't have that kind of drive that wants you makes you want to, okay, I need to do this,
yeah,
I need to do this, and then you have that sense of urgency that is
yes,
going to push you to go there. Okay, now you don't have that much time anymore.
yes, sir.
So now the question is, how are you gonna help yourself when that person is struggling with that kind of situation where he's lacking that emotional why? What questions could he reflect on, or what things he could do to kind of get more clarity about that? And the second question is like, how could he start making that sense of urgency then?
Well, he has to understand the reality of things,
Mm,
and what was the absolute thing that we will all experience: death.
mm,
Uh, there was a Greek philosopher, Plato, I believe,
mm,
or Aristoteles. I don't remember which one.
mm,
Plato or Aristoteles said that there is nothing more disgusting or sad than to see what your human body cannot do.
mm,
So his philosophy was that you have to push your body to a point where you can see that how much you can do,
mm,
right?
mm,
And for that guy, he's hypothetical, but there are people who actually are in these predicaments. For that guy, he have to understand the reality of things. The reality is that you don't have much time. 80 years at best. If you are lucky, you could get you will get 80 years. Most people will die 65 to 70.
Mm,
That is the that is the harsh reality.
mm,
I know I'm going to die young. That is the fact. But
mm.
uh, you have to understand that you don't get much years in this life. And if you want to be even more specific, Eddie Murphy had this one video that he explained this, that when somebody says 80 years, that sounds a lot. But what about if somebody says there are just 80 summers? That sounds a little bit different,
Yeah,
right?
most different.
Yeah, much different. You
Yeah.
have just 80 summers to experience it all.
Mm.
Well, you get to start looking at things like, okay, it doesn't make sense now. And for that guy, get the guys or the people that you're surrounded with, the environment, get your environment straight. What needs to be done now? If that he can answer, then is off the hooks. After that, there will be another question because there are only 2 days that are the most important days in your life. The first thing is when you are born. The second day is when you know why. I know my why. Puru,
I don't know.
you don't know,
I don't know.
but you're still doing things.
Yeah.
And when you meet a human being, I must say this, and then I think we can start to wrap things
Yeah,
up because
let's fix.
we can talk about
Yes.
things all
Yes.
damn time.
Yes. But not this time fapping these off.
Okay, bro. We will not discuss that. Who knows it?
Okay.
When you meet somebody, especially if you meet a man who has who has that why clearly, he knows why he's up here. He knows what he needs to do. Uh, look him in the eyes and look what you see. Look what kind of look they have. Because uh, I personally haven't met a lot of people who know exactly what they want. And understand this is not absolute. Like I said, nothing is absolute. But sometimes you have those times that, okay, what the hell do I want? What do I want to do with my life? Because nothing is absolute. After 5 years, my purpose, for example, my why will be changed or can change, right?
Mm.
Because I have achieved it, or that doesn't make any sense in my life anymore, or something has happened which doesn't comply with my why. So it changes, right? But for many people who don't know their why, look people who know their why and look what kind of look they have in their eyes. Or the best yet is, for example, when you look some fighter who wants to win that championship. Look what kind of look they have. They have an absolute, uh, the absolute determination of doing that, and there only can be one who can stop, and that is God. If you can see that look, and when you see that look, you know, okay, this guy is going to get it. Maybe he will fail, maybe, and uh, to wrap this up, I want to just stick last thing like a knife. I want to stick it the last thing. Uh, can you fail? I want to answer. I want everybody to answer for themselves. Can you fail, or can you make it not happen if you try absolute best? If you give it all you have, can you fail? That is the question. Anything else?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe I was just if one thing I may share, like it just reminded me, like the question is really good, and I don't want too much start rambling now because I know this is a question that anyone wants to
You
think for
you can
themselves.
you can answer it
Yeah,
in
yeah,
your
yeah,
perspective,
yeah.
for
Like
sure.
like for everyone, I think everyone has their own perception of the questions. But for me, just this just reminded me of that this really great quote I want to leave this episode with, and it's by Norman Vincent Peale. In case you have read the book, The Positive Power of Positive Thinking. I'm a monk, so I know the book. So
Oh, I got you. I got you, bro.
you know. But the point is, the quote goes something like this. I might butcher it, but whatever. When you approach difficulty as a personal unity, the difficulty with itself is a demonstration of this unity, tends to deteriorate. That's my question for you to answer for yourself. What do you think that means? And then if you ask a, and if you then through that lens you review his question, I think that will make much more sense
Yeah,
to you.
yeah. Answer for yourself. I have my answer, and I believe when you think about it a little bit, you can have your answer too.
Yeah.
That's it with this episode. I hope everybody got what they wanted. I hope they learned something and maybe got a little laugh.